Restrict them from interacting with certain people.
Cell phone experts say iMessage is one of the hardest things to control because the data is going from one iPhone to another, not between carriers. But on the iPhone, under Settings, you can put in restrictions for applications with a passcode, even controlling the phone's camera.
So that the photos that are taken cannot be shared with certain applications like Snapchat.
Gutowski hopes her daughter stays smart and stays away from cyberbullying or sexting.
It can really damage a person.
Now, experts say if you're buying a new phone for your kids, don't be shy to ask them to help you install any security applications and set those restrictions. Deandra Corinthios, NBC 26.
We asked parents on our Facebook page about what they're doing to keep their kids safe on social media. Dawn writes, I spot check my kids' technology and teach them what's right and wrong. I continuously remind them to have fun in life, but make good choices. Mark replied, the technology is too advanced for the kids' own good. If kids could only have phones that just made phone calls, this would not be a big deal. For more tips on how to protect your kids from the dangers of social media, head to our website, NBC26.com. An early morning fire in a Sheboygan mobile home leaves one woman dead and sends 3 other family members to the hospital. Firefighters responded to the call shortly after midnight. When they arrived, they found the home engulfed in flames. Despite working in extreme temperatures, crews were able to knock down the fire quickly, but not before it claimed a victim.
Well, they had to break the door and to get in and extinguish fire to reach the victim, who was found already deceased.
An oxygen tank was discovered in the living room where investigators believe the fire started. The exact cause is under investigation. The Red Cross is assisting at the scene. Deputies in Kewaunee County are investigating 2 church break-ins just this week. The first incident happened at St. Teresa's Parish in the town of Franklin yesterday. The next break-in took place in the town of Montpelier, where someone stole a donation jar and a brass table. Anyone with information is asked to call the sheriff's department. Well, customers warned tonight to watch for price problems when buying items at American TV and Appliances. The company announced more than a week ago that it was closing all its stores. Liquidation sales have been going on, including the Grand Chute store, but the Wisconsin Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection has received complaints of checkout errors. Investigators found more than 5% of items rang up at a higher price than advertised. In a statement, American says the vast majority of the checkout errors claimed by DATCAP were on unboxed items from our closeout and demo centers where we were offering the item for less than the same item in a box. We informed the state investigators of that fact, end quote. Well, retail sales this winter just doesn't seem to be growing great with this continuous deep freeze. It's starting to hurt businesses in northeast Wisconsin. NBC 26's Raquel Amel is live in the Green Bay newsroom with more.
Stacy, some retailers are saying they're in a tight spot with sales down nearly 30%. They say people just don't want to go shopping when the weather is this cold. Jamie Ninham waits for the bus, braving the cold for the bare minimum.
I just kind of get what I need and go. Try to stay out of the cold as much as I can.
That mentality really hurting businesses who are having a tough time trying to make a sale.
Good morning, Sassy Girl.
Nicole Zeke owns Sassy Girl Boutique on Broadway. She says sales are down about 30%, forcing her to get creative to draw people in.
I've done Facebook sales, different things that if you come in, you get different things. You know, you got to try and do what you can to get them through the door.
It's not just stores having a hard time. This truck, one of a few with a sold sign in the window.
It's definitely affecting traffic.
Darren Spencer is the operations manager for Village Auto. He says the cold is slowing car sales down.
There's a lot of drive-bys or people stepping out of the vehicle just for a few seconds to look at it real quick and then back in, so we don't get an opportunity to talk to them.
Businesses hoping for some relief soon, but for now,
nobody wants to go in this cold unless you have to.
Retailers can only wait for the weather to change. A car dealer is saying the cold doesn't just affect sales, it's also creating upkeep worries because cars don't run as well in this cold weather. Live in the Green Bay newsroom, Raquel Amel, NBC 26.
Green Bay Metro firefighters being trained on how to use a brand new medication that could help save lives. It's called a Cyanide kit and helps fight against the effects of hydrogen cyanide in fire victims. Firefighters are being trained on how to recognize symptoms of cyanide in the field and how to incorporate this new kit in their treatment of victims.
The medication itself is not that drastically difficult to administer, easy to assess for. We can definitely handle it, and they look at it as one more way that we can serve the public.
The new cyano kits will be carried by all 5 ambulances and 2 battalion chiefs' vehicles.